How's everyone doing? Yeah. Can we give it up for my colleagues? This is an amazing panel, right? So I'd like to introduce myself. It's your favorite Spanish-speaking therapist. Yes, hola. My name is Zeahlot Lopez. I'm an LMFT, and as of this Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., LPC as well. Yes, thank you. I'd like to introduce myself with a fun fact. My name is the only one in the world, and this is very important to me because I use systems and I use technology, as my colleagues mentioned. So this is how clients find me, and I'll tell you a little bit about my story as not only to brag or to boast, but to encourage collaboratively as my colleagues. It is an honor to speak to you today about my private practice and incorporating systems today. As of January 2nd, 2018, this year, I opened up private practice against all the naysayers that said, oh, you'll be stuck in county. I worked for county for 3 years for DMH. If anybody can survive a year, you can do it. I survived 3. I survived several burnouts. I survived my clients' trauma. I survived some of the most beautiful blessings that I ever received in my career. And with this, I had naysayers telling me, Z, you'll never make it by establishing a private practice that serves Latinos in the community that are Spanish-speaking only. I'm here to tell you that in 6 months, I had a thriving practice with a caseload of 30 clients, no insurance panels, no military, cash pay only, no checks. And this is how I did it. I implemented systems. I knew from the very beginning that it was an investment, not only in my field, but as a person, as a woman, as an entrepreneur. Within my private practice, I understood that systems was investing, but I had to understand not the what, but the why. And this is what I understood. As an entrepreneur, I'm extremely big on marketing, as we all are, in order to get the word out, how great we are as therapists. I want to take you back several years. Does anybody in here remember the Discover commercial for the credit card? The oh so heart-wrenching, taking your son out on a baseball game. The bat, $120. The game, $80 a ticket. The hot dog, $8. A day with your son, priceless. Until this day, I still remember that. And this is when it hit me the why for incorporating systems. I was not buying a system or how much it was costing me a year. What I was buying was priceless. It was my time. This is exactly why I established my private practice January 2nd and systems January 3rd. It's the very first thing I bought after the insurance, as we all know. Cover your, yes, exactly. So this is why incorporating systems, it's so important in your private practice, but as well as getting ready for it as you're an associate getting licensed. The price of peace. I'd like you to consider right now and take just a quick moment and ask yourself, what is the price of your peace? Your peace of mind, and that could include spending time with your loved ones, your children, what's important to you. And all of this is incorporated into the price I put into incorporating systems. Now, there's a lot of different systems out there. There's Theranos, there's Simple Practice, some among many, correct? I went with Simple Practice, and I personally love this system. I don't like it, I love it. And I'm gonna go over a couple of reasons why. Now, the first one is collaborating care with providers of mental health. As we all know, one of the most important things to do for a client for care is collaboration, of knowing that if they have somebody that they're working with, a nurse, a doctor, a psychiatrist, another therapist that's in practice providing to them a different system, perhaps couples, perhaps family, if you're seeing an individual, how important is it to collaborate? But I don't want to put that paperwork in the back of my trunk in another file for the double lock. I want to make sure it's safe and secure. So this is why I put my trust into these systems, because although I do have a file with a double lock in my trunk, my worry that if I go to the grocery store and my car gets broken into and my computer gets stolen isn't on the back of my mind. Now, a raise of hands, how many of you have taken any type of documentation from a client to your home but made a couple stops along the way? Or there's other people in your car. There's friends, there's family. Ever heard, Mommy, Daddy, what's this? And you have this face. Nothing, and you put it away. This is why incorporating systems is so important. It keeps us honest, but it also keeps us protected as well as the client. One of the most important things I have found in implementing systems is outcomes and questionnaires. And I'm going to give you guys one of the most Amazing golden nuggets that I have gotten from using and incorporating systems. Within Simple Practice, you are able to create documents to send to your clients. I have sent them one of the most important questions on my assessment. It is as follows. Among the following reasons, which would be the largest for why our work would stop? Is it distance? Is it cost? Is it your schedule? Is it my schedule or other? This has prevented a loss of clients from the very beginning. If you ask me to put a price tag on that, that's about 50% of my clients because I have identified for them that my schedule availability is of the utmost importance for them. If you ask me right now, that right there, that ability to ask them even before I start to work with them, pays for itself. Why? Many of them also tell me that it's cost. Having an open and honest conversation via those systems helps keep the retention of clients, or knowing right off the bat, this client may not be for me, as we've discussed previously. Client documentation. It's our favorite task, right? I wake up and I say, yes, I get to write notes today. Simple Practice makes this fun, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm definitely OCD. I love to see clear, crisp tracking, but it also helps me see what session are we on versus paper charts. Although you may be extremely organized, you might miss one or two. Simple Practice or any type of incorporating system for documentation and billing will keep you honest as a practitioner of health. It lets you know, hey, a note is due. It's a friendly reminder. It holds you accountable. As a businesswoman, my time is money. Effective messages. I can speak to my clients on there. I can send them a message, but it's also HIPAA compliant. The worst thing that we want is knowing that a client's privacy has been negotiated or not protected because we've sent it through a system that is not HIPAA compliant. This is of the utmost importance because our license matters. You've worked oh so hard for it to keep it. The need and availability. Supply and demand. This is extremely important to understand, and I'm going to explain why. Immediately, when I get a call from a new client, they are in need. They have a demand, and I'm in supply because they need help. It's a proven that the sooner you get the demand to the client, the more likely that they will come in. It's just like if you're shopping for a car, and the car's there, and it works for you on the price, you're gonna buy it. So immediately, within no more than 30 minutes after the client and I have come to an agreement over the phone that they'd like to start services, I immediately send them the forms. Who in here has gone to the doctor, the dentist, any medical professional, and gotten their forms online? Anyone? How amazing was that, right? Have you had a root canal? Do you have a cavity? Check, yes and yes. I'm knowing that they're already taking care of me beforehand because they're going to be prepared when I come into the office. This is my understanding. It prepares me as the clinician before they walk in. It also helps me identify red flags because if they tell, oh, you know, I'm coming in for individual counseling, and by the way, I'm actually in a DV relationship that currently has domestic violence going on. This may or may not be the right client for me, as we discussed previously, right? Catching this beforehand. If you were able to send them the forms electronically, they have that right away. It's giving them what they need in that very moment. They feel taken care of. It's just like when we walk into a restaurant. They say, hi, how can I help you? They sit you down and they give you a menu. If you give them the paperwork, they're more likely to come on in and you can book them right there and then. If they have to wait for you to email the forms and did you get it and go ahead and fill it out and go ahead and send those back to me and oops, that's not HIPAA compliant. That's extra time you're taking out of your day, right? And the email may not be HIPAA compliant, as we all know. Easy access of telecommunication. As my colleague mentioned previously, Simple Practice also helps you implement telecommunication. I absolutely love it. As a Latina, culturally, I'm working with a lot of mothers that do the cuarentena, which is 40 days after you give birth, you stay home. A lot of my practice has females where they stay in the home and they just don't want to leave. How amazing is it to have your baby sleeping secure and sound and you're getting therapy? You are already the mother of the year. You're working on yourself. And that's because I have incorporated these systems into my private practice. I have so many clients that have off schedules They're in the business industry. They're in the entertainment industry. Z, do you have any availability at 10? I don't want to be at the office at that hour. I want to be at home in my sweats, but I still have a professional scarf on, of course. But this is what helps in incorporating systems. Now, one of my favorite parts of incorporating systems is the billing. And a lot of people cringe when they hear this, but it's really your perspective, it's your mindset, just like anything, right? We're therapists. So in billing, I think of this. I like to stay summertime fine. So I definitely am a runner. And when I run, I use Apple products. And it says, you're at that halfway point, and it motivates me. It says, yes, I'm halfway done with my workout. And it's the same thing with billing. In incorporating simple practice into my system, what helps is knowing where I'm at. For example, who in here has to pay rent out of working as a therapist? Has to pay their mortgage, has to pay their car, their children's school tuition. It's important to know exactly where you're at because it motivates you. It's knowing, yes, I'm at that 4,000 mark, halfway point, and yes, one time you will get over 3 digits in income. It is completely possible. I see it and I feel it. And it's motivating to know where I'm at. How many clients had a no-show? If you are able to track this, it will help you with billing. And simple practice helps you with all of this. I know exactly what client is not showing, the reasons why, and how often by one click of a button. I have visuals that show me along the way, how much am I making? How close am I to buying that Buddha to put on the library, right? Because we all have amazing things that we want for our practice, but it's knowing and having that vision. Feedback is also very important. As we mentioned earlier, outcomes and questionnaires are very, very effective for helping you become a better practitioner. One of the things that I have done with Simple Practice is that I have implemented, because I am a bilingual therapist, I'm a dual speaker, I get to choose what forms I send to what clients. So if they need everything in Spanish, I'm able to do that. But the most beautiful thing is that they feel heard and seen within their culture. And this is so important because I don't know any system out there that has every single document that you will need. You have to create that. Simple Practice has provided me the dream of creating something that I envisioned for myself. Personally, I would love to see a lot more clinicians of color in private practice, but there's this fear that it won't work. I can't pay my bills off of this, and I'm living proof that it is. And in speaking to you today, I highly encourage you to consider, what is the price of your peace? What is the price of your time? Do you really want to spend an hour or two adding up what a client paid you and didn't, and oops, did I miss one, did I not? When a system can do it for you. It's making your life easier, choosing your battles. I much rather spend my time knowing, did I properly care for this client? Because customer care is the #1 reason why my practice is thriving, and Simple Practice has been there to help me. Thank you for your time.